Hey, what's up everybody? Greg Ray here with Outdoor Solutions, and we're gonna bring you guys another Tacticam tip. We are going to do scope mounting. What we're doing in particular is actually a rifle for one of our clients, and he has a Benelli Lupo. He's actually coming to one of our long range schools in the month of May and wanted us to get it ready for him. So he's got a Benelli Lupo in 6.5 Creedmoor, and we are going to put a Zeiss Conquest V6 on it. This one's in 3-18. He's going to use it quite a bit for hunting, and we're going to utilize the Zeiss lightweight aluminum rings on there as well. This is actually a really simple process. People think it's complicated, and it's not. If I can do it, just about anybody can. So some things that you're going to need, and I've already got them set up ahead of time, is you're going to need a set of bubble levels. The first thing that I do is take one level, and on this particular case, I set it on a pick rail. I've already got it centered for you. Then the second thing that you do is you put another bubble level down on the barrel and confirm that they are matched up, because obviously once I start setting the scope on here, I have to take this one off. It'll come back into play here in just a little bit. So we're gonna get all of our stuff ready to go and start mounting the scope. Okay, like I said, you want to make sure that you have all your tools and everything lined up ready to go before you get started. I already showed you that we had the bubble levels. Make sure that you've got the proper torque wrenches, the proper sizes. The other thing that you're going to need to know is what your specs are from your optic manufacturer for your bases and for your rings. So like I was saying, we're using Zeiss rings for the base screws. They recommend 36 inch-pounds, and for the ring screws themselves, they recommend 18 inch-pounds. So obviously we're gonna go by what they say. The other thing that you'll need to know is the base, or whether you're using a pick rail or a weaver rail on your rifle, you need to know what the proper inch-pounds for that is as well. One thing that we always do, we don't trust how it came from the factory, so we'll take them off. We will use red Loctite on them and then reset them to the proper poundage recommended by the rifle manufacturer. So we already have all that down and ready to go. So this is a two-piece pick rail, as you can see. So I don't have as many options if I had a full piece that went across there. This is what comes from Benelli. So that's what we're using. So the first thing I want to do, since I have just two options, is just see where I'm at. So I have those on the outside slots, and you can see that does not give me very much room with this Zeiss optic. It gives me really no room. So I'm going to make an adjustment and bring them both to the inside, and now I've got some additional room. It's not a ton, but I do have a little bit there, and what that allows me to do is make room for my eye relief. Now, like I said, this is going to be for a client, so we may have to make some adjustments for him. So I've got that set in there where I want. Actually, the next thing I'm going to do is just go and take that off so I don't knock it off. And Eddie can show you that I'm just going to tighten up the base screws here to the recommended torque, or the inch-pounds. For both of those. Okay, so those are good to go. Put these back on here. And one of the things that you're constantly doing whenever you're putting your optics on is checking out your bubble levels. So I can still see that I'm level here because I had the other bubble level on the pick rail. I had it right nice and centered. And so now I know that it's still centered because my second bubble level is. So now that I've got the optic on there, I'm gonna set this bubble level on there and adjust it to where I need to get. And just so I get close there for now, because it's gonna get bumped and moved around a little bit as I'm putting the top part of the rings on. Now with the Zeiss rings, they have a little bubble level on there, which if you're right eye dominant, it will go on the left side over here. So now one of the questions that we get asked about is Loctite on the ring screws themselves. We used to, and we would use blue, and we found out that we really didn't need to, at least with these Zeiss rings. We haven't had any issues with them backing out at all, and we send thousands and thousands of rounds downrange through our schools with our clients. So we don't use any, we just go to the recommended torque inches and we're good. So I'm just going to start with one, or actually, you know what, we'll go ahead and put them all in, and I'll show you how we tighten them. All right, so I've already got my second one ready to go. I get one started, and I just do just one ring at a time is all that you need to do. You get one set, and then your other one is good to go. But I'll get all 4 of them at least started. And one of the things that you want to look for right away once you start getting these screwed down a little bit is you'll see on this side, and it's going to be the same on the other side here, is the spacing in between the top part of the ring and the bottom part. You want to make sure that your spacing is even, that you don't have a bigger gap here versus over here. It's trying to keep them even. So you're really having to watch quite a few things at one time. You're watching the space in between the halves of your ring, and you're watching your bubbles all at the same time, making sure that you don't have anything bumped. And the main thing for right now that I'm wanting to watch is this one. This one I'm not as worried about, the one that's actually sitting on my optic, because I'm moving things around a little bit. Now, as my screws start getting tighter, I have to make sure that that one sitting on the scope is level. All right, so I'm getting most of these. You can see I've just kind of gone around because I'm not really tightening anything yet. I'm just getting them down there where they're starting to feel a little snug. And so I've got a good gap there. And the gap over here on my side, which you probably can't see, is all pretty close to the same. So now's when I really have to start paying attention. I'm still even down here, and I'm even here on top. So what I do is just go corner to opposite corner, just give it a little turn. Now, as these start tightening, your bubble will move because you're putting more pressure on one side or the other. So that's why I go opposite corners and just keep an eye on that bubble. So I just go corner to corner and just moving it just a little bit at a time. It's not, multiple turns once that starts getting snug. And just keeping an eye on those bubbles. And so far, everything's looking good. Gaps are pretty close to the same. You see I'm just doing it, so I got to click there, so I'm just about at where I need to be on the recommended 18 inch-pounds. That one's done. So we're locked in. You can still see that I'm still center bubble, so I know that my scope is even. And now all I'm going to do is just repeat the process and put that one on. So now the nice thing about having that one already locked in, I really don't have to keep as close an eye on my bubbles. I'll still go through the same process of doing just a little at a time because I still have to watch that gap on both sides of the rings. So what we'll do, we'll get these all tightened down. All right, so gaps are pretty close to the same. I've got those firm, and now I'm just repeating the process, just a little bit of a turn. Gaps are looking pretty close to the same. I don't know if y'all probably can't hear that click, but with these torque wrenches from Fix-It Sticks, it'll break over once I get to the recommended inch-pounds that I set it to. So that is all good to go there. I dropped my level, so I've got to get it picked up. And we'll put this back on, and we're still at center and good to go. So now all we gotta do is go down the range. We'll put this on paper and we're good to go. It's literally that simple. We did this all in one cut. So let's go to the range. So let's see where we're at. All right, going hot. All All right, so we are only about 1 minute low. Left, right is absolutely perfect. And we're just gonna leave it there because our client's line of sight is gonna be different than mine. We'll let him fine tune it to his vision. So all in all, really to get the optic mounted and get it zeroed, we probably only spent about 20 minutes getting it done. So it is really simple to do. Hope this was helpful to you guys, and we'll see you next month on the next Tacticam tip.